If your car suffers from blue smoke on startup, it may be that your engine breather is blocked and needs replacing. This video will show you how to replace the engine breather, and this is an example of this vehicle's blue smoke on startup. The engine breather is this part here, and it's located at the back of the engine. So as per all jobs, it's a case of taking all these plastic trim panels off to enable it to be replaced. To start with, I'm going to disconnect this bonnet switch and disconnect the cables from that. So that unplugs there from these two clips. Just move that out of the way. This plastic cover needs to be removed, a little clip at the front and back, and out that comes. Same at the other side. We need to disconnect this cable and from its clips, move that out of the way, this plastic cover. Then we need to remove the pollen filter casing, which we'll do next. The pollen filter is held on by 8mm bolts, 6 of those, which we'll quickly remove now. Now we need to unclip this panel here. We can disconnect the cables by just pulling this out like so, and then there's two 8mm bolts at either side that need to be removed. Unclip the washer pipe and these rubber tabs at either side. Then they should simply slide back and come out of the way. Next we need to remove the engine cover, which has got 4 Allen screw bolts at a size 5mm. With the bolts removed, the engine cover will lift off. There is a little peg underneath here that needs to be lifted out of the rubber grommet. The engine breather filter is mounted underneath here, so we need to take the engine back cover off. For that, it'd be easier to take the strut braces off, which we will do now. Using a screwdriver, 1/4 of a turn to remove this plug, which will reveal a star bolt which needs to be removed, along with the 2 bolts on top of the strut. The centre strut brace top is located with a 18 star socket. The strut top bolts are a size 14 star socket. These should then just simply pull out. Now we're able to access the rear engine cover bolts, here and here. Again, 5mm Allen key. With these bolts removed, it will allow us to move that out the way to gain access to these other bolts once we've taken the air filter housing off. So now we'll start and take the air intake pipe off the air filter housing, just for ease of access. We'll start with these star screws, which are a size T20. We'll release this clip from the flexible hose by pulling it back and out. Now we need to take these bolts out here from from the air filter housing. 5mm Allen key again. This cover should just unclip from its mountings and slide back and out. Next we need to release these star bolts. There's one here, one there, and one down the back to enable this cover to be released, and then we should be able to gain access to the engine breather. I'm about to remove this plastic air filter housing. I'm going to use a star socket size 10 to remove these bolts. My socket is a little bit too big to fit in to enable me to remove that one with the socket, so I'm just going to use a star ring key 8mm, which fits nicely, to remove it like so. This will take a little bit of time, but it will come out eventually. These bolts are captive, so they won't drop out. So I'm going to remove these now. Once I've got the bolts removed, I'll show you how to remove the cover. Right, I've now removed all these bolts. They're all nice and loose. As you can see, they're captive, they won't come out. Another one here, and one just down the back, which is a bit awkward to get to. We need to take the oil filler cap off first, and then this should move back and come out. This bolt here is still engaged. We're just going to try and back that off a little bit more. Right, that's out now. You should be able to slide this out of the way now. Okay, so now we can see the engine breather located underneath here, which we will attempt to remove next. Next, we'll release the injector wiring harness, which has got, again, star-headed bolts, which is size 6. 3 of these. Just need to ease the engine cover back to gain access to this one. With those bolts released, this will allow us to move the wiring back out the way to gain access to the bolts that hold the engine breather in place. The engine breather is held on by 4 5mm Allen key bolts, which are located, one down here, one underneath the wiring harness there, one towards the air filter here, and one right down at the back, which I will endeavour to undo and come back to you in a second. With those bolts removed, they are captive, so the bolts shouldn't drop out. You should be able to just ease the wiring back, and this should then lift out. There we have the engine breather. The engine breather has a couple of rubber seals. The new breather comes with replacement seals, so it's advisory to change those when replacing the breather filter. So I'll quickly do those now. The new rubber seals have been inserted in here with a little bit of silicone lubricant, and now we're going to fit the new engine breather. Again, using the 5mm Allen key socket. You can see the last bolt here at the back. I'll just gently tighten these down and I'll come back to you. I've tightened the engine breather bolts down. I've relocated the engine wire, the injector wiring harness and I'm just going to fasten those bolts back in now. So engine wiring harness bolts have now been tightened down. We need to put the air filter cover back on next. Before I did that, I'd give the air filter a quick clean off. The oil filler cap needs to be removed first. Then this cover slides in. It's all a bit tight, but a bit of patience and it will go back into place. Okay, we've fastened these starhead bolts back on the air filter casing. Now it's time to put the air filter cover back on. This clips in at the bottom here with the front edge, and then you can lift this back onto its mounting bolts here, and it should slot into the groove down the back and along the bottom edge. I'll just fasten this up now. Okay, we'll put these 5mm Allen key bolts back in here. Okay, we'll put the air intake pipe back on now. These front bits slot in first underneath here. Just be careful the cables that run underneath don't get trapped. Just ease that back into position, pull that back until that snaps back into place. Like so. We can now relocate the rear engine cover with the 5mm Allen key bolts. There's one at each side. And now we can replace the engine cover. Slides underneath the power cables. Again, there's a little peg here that locates, so it just snaps into place like so, and then you've got your 4 5mm Allen key bolts. Go back in here. Next we'll put the strut bases back. These go through some rubber grommets. Just for ease of getting those through the rubber grommets, I've just sprayed them with a little bit of silicone spray so they slide in a little bit easier. The left hand one usually goes in first, and then the right hand one slides in and sits on top. Like so. I'll just hand tighten the strut top bolts down by hand. To locate them, and then the centre bolt. Again, I'll just hand tighten that down to locate them to start with. So I'll tighten the strut top bolts down. Then finally the centre bolt. Now put the plastic cap back on, like so. Next we can put this cover back in. If you go in at a slight angle like that, it's just a little bit easier just to locate it. I've sprayed a little bit of silicone spray lubricant just along that edge just to make it a little bit easier for this to locate. There we go. Small bolts on either side to fasten this in. Just clip the washer hose back in place. The electric cables, the thick electric main battery cables can go back into place, like so. Now we can put the pollen filter housing back on. Now we can put the covers back on either side. First of all, we just fasten this back onto the tray. And the wiring harness on this side can go back on. Again, the cover needs to be clipped back in to the tray on this side here. And this cover can go back into place then. And the wiring harness again can go back in place. Like so. I hope you found the video useful. Please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.